The Kamigoto. The word Kamigoto means words of Kami, implying divine communication. The Kamigoto, like the Amasu no Rito, has its origin in the Shinto tradition and is also called the Grand Purification no Rito. The Kamigoto is composed of words having powerful kototama, which literally means spirits dwelling in the words. In comparison with the Amasu no Rito, the Kamigoto no Rito has a much greater capacity to purify spiritual clouds, rejuvenate our spiritual energy, and align us with truth. Chanting the Kamigoto also generates a sound that purifies our surroundings and prepares us to receive divine light. The chant has a loose episodic narrative that concerns a request for divine intervention to purify the earth, the body, and the spirit because of some past indiscretion. The poem calls on Kami deities to intervene and dissipate spiritual pollution. The following is a paraphrased English version of the Kamigoto's text. Kamigoto, words of the Kami. High on a heavenly plateau, the primordial Kami spirits, Kamurogi and Kamuromi, called for a divine convocation of the myriad heavenly Kami deities. There, the gathered deities proclaimed the reign of the sovereign grandchild of the heavenly Kami over the land of plentiful reeds and rich grain. However, the earthly Kami of that land were wild and unruly. The heavenly Kami asked for their respect, but they refused. So the heavenly Kami expelled them all and silenced all the rocks, tree stumps, and leaves that questioned the grandchild's legitimacy. Thus, the grandchild departed from his heavenly rock. Parting and dispersing the tears of clouds, the heavenly Kami cleared the way for the grandchild's descent to the land. Thus, the land was entrusted to him. The land was at the heart of the earth's four quarters. Its central region was pacified as the land of the midday sun. There the columns of a palace were set in firm bedrock, and the structure's crossbeams rose high toward the heavenly plateau. When the palace was finished, the grandchild took shelter in it and ruled in peace, and henceforth heavenly people multiplied in that fair realm. Their progeny, however, committed various transgressions, giving rise to many heavenly and earthly spiritual defilements. Thus, a purification ceremony is held. Blocks of wood, as hard as iron, are laid on great altars. Twigs of pure hemp are chopped at both ends, then sliced. Here, chant the solemn words of a heavenly Norito prayer. Just as they still do now, celestial Kami answer the chant by pushing aside heaven's doors and parting many strata of clouds to hear the words. Below, earthly Kami climb to the summits of mountains, both high and low, to part the mist so that the prayers can be heard. And as heaven listens, every spiritual defilement vanishes. As gusts of wind dissipate blankets of clouds, as breezes dissolve the mist of dawn and dusk, as a massive ship sails from the harbor and disappears into the vast ocean, as clusters of thickets are cleared from the hill by a fire-tempered sickle, all spiritual defilements disappear. None at all will remain. Then, as now, the female kami, Shiaritsu Hime, who lives in the river torrents that plunge from the steep crest of the highest peaks, take these spiritual clouds with her into the great sea. After she has taken them to the sea, the female kami, Haya Akisu Hime, who lives where brackish currents meet, will swallow them up with one great gulp. After she has swallowed them, the male kami, Ibukido Nushi, who lives where great tornadoes are raging, will blow them to the netherworld. And after he has blown them down to the netherworld, the female kami, Hayasasura Hime, who lives in the depths of the netherworld, will carry them off and let them disappear. Upon receiving works of the four noble deities of purification, we now plead that all our spiritual defilements of body and mind be purified. Thus, we humbly pray.